Hello everyone, welcome to the first episode of AI X Music, your weekly dive into how AI and tech more broadly is shaping the world of music. I'm your host Chris, and today we got 6 stories that show just how much AI is moving, shaking, and sometimes breaking out of the music industry. So from resurrecting Whitney Houston's voice to AI-driven country stars, and even a Spotify boycott over AI ethics. Buckle up, we'll hit each story in its own segment with context, riffs, and what it all means for artists, producers, engineers, and anyone making music today. Stick around.
And sun's the coming weather, so why are you so blue?
First up, Whitney Houston lives again. The queen of pop soul herself is getting an AI-powered symphonic tour. So the tour is called The Voice of Whitney, a symphonic celebration. And so her vocals are recreated using AI because, believe it or not, many of the original multi-track masters don't actually exist anymore. So Moises, which is an AI platform, has isolated her vocals from the original recordings and layered it on top of orchestral arrangements. So the kicker is, technically it's genius. Emotionally, it's a little bit complicated. Artists are resurrected digitally. Fans get nostalgia. The industry gets a little revenue. But ethically, we're kind of in a new territory. You know, did Whitney say yes this in spirit? Who owns her performance now? Is it the estate, the engineers, the AI company? I don't know. What do you guys think? Should somebody be able to resurrect a singer like this? I think now that we're already living in the age, signing off on it might be cool. If you give permission, that's one thing. But people that didn't give permission, where do you stand on that? So a little bit for musicians and producers, it's a reminder that your voice and performance and your recordings are becoming data. And how will future AI tools interact with your work? That's an interesting question. So I'd love to hear how you guys are thinking about that concept going forward. Our second story is kind of a wild one that kind of blew me out of the water a little bit. Deezer, which is kind of like a smaller Spotify platform, has about 10,000 AI tracks uploaded every day. So that's roughly 10% of everything on the platform. AI-generated music is now a massive portion of the streaming ecosystem. It kind of snuck up on us. Is it an opportunity? Absolutely. A singer, a songwriter, or a producer can experiment faster, generate ideas, and even release music without traditional gatekeepers. But the threat is also real because human artists are now competing with fully digital ghost catalogs of AI music. So playlists might begin to favor AI-generated content because algorithms can churn out endlessly, optimized for clicks, and really that's kind of what Spotify's goal is. They don't really care as much as they say that they do about artists. I'm not certain that their primary goal is worrying about how much we make as compared to how much they can make off music they might make themselves. So would you even know if your favorite song was human-made or AI? Because we ran into a few examples where people didn't, and when they found out, they were not happy. So I think for the creators, the takeaway is curation, ethics, originality are going to become your differentiators. AI is going to be able to write hundreds of songs in a week, but it can't capture your lived experience, your subtle imperfections, your humanity. Can it copy it? Yes, but again, that's just another person, digital that it may be, that's competing with whatever your vision, your outputting is. And it's even music, it's always going to come down to story, especially in the beginning when you're trying to get out there. So please let me know where you stand on this topic and how you're feeling about it. So I heard a lot of artists are a little bit depressed on the topic, and I think we can stay hopeful. So another article is Epidemic Sound, which just released Adapt, which is an AI tool for content creators. So it lets you isolate instruments, extend arrangements, or reshape songs to fit your project. So the twist is that AI doesn't just help you here, it becomes kind of a co-author of your content. And Epidemic Sound has even announced increased bonus payments of artists for tracks modified by AI, meaning so you're not just remixing them, you're sharing the creative handoffs. They're actually telling you to take your music, create AI remixes, AI variants like I've been working on in Suno. They're encouraging that. I don't know if they see it as a money-making thing, a way to raise up the amount of use cases, but it's something they're now pushing. So if AI can tweak it after you release it, do you feel like that's still your song? Legally, emotionally, are you happy with it? Are you interested to hear what it is, or does it bother you at the end of the day? So for songwriters, it's huge. You can finally hear your ideas come to life completely, which is kind of what I felt when I threw my songs in and heard them, realized sort of that I heard them in my head and had never been able to reach with a full surrounding band to support me in that way. you know, what does it mean now for full studio musician sessions and all of this if you can do it this way? It's, it's bringing ethical questions about ownership and all this, but it's an intriguing use case, and listening to it sparks something in you that you may have not felt before. So I'd be interested to hear how much you guys are using AI on your own artwork, or how much you're going from full prompt, or if you're putting in recordings of yourselves, your own lyrics, melodies, chords. I'd love to hear what you're feeding it and what you're getting out. Please leave a comment. All right, so another interesting story. We're discussing the hidden AI content. Country Cate is a YouTube sensation who has racked up millions of streams, and it's all AI vocals with human written lyrics. So it's not just a novelty, it's a new way to break in as a songwriter. So the people that wrote it are the Duray brothers, and they were, in their own words, bypassing Nashville gatekeepers and creating a fully AI-powered performer. So think of it like the first wave of computer music in the 80s. Machines were changing the game, but now it's AI doing the singing while the human writes the heart of the song. So the cultural reception has kind of been fascinating. People are curious, skeptical, sometimes emotionally invested in a digital performer. Some of them know that it's a digital performer, some don't, and the reaction often differs. Would you accept an AI as a collaborator or a competitor in songwriting? I really think that this use case is interesting. They felt that they had some songs, maybe it was just the lyrics here, not the full song, which is another interesting layer of it. But they felt that they were interesting words and they stood on their own, but nobody could see it. And so they placed it inside of a voice and presented it fully formed. So now potentially it won't be Country Cate that ends up getting the hit, but somebody sees it through Country Cate and a real performer takes over. That's something interesting that I've been thinking about and I'd love to jump into, and I'd love to see what you guys think on that part of it. So please comment below about what you think on that. So now a piece for the live production folks. Companies like Shure, the microphone company, and Google are developing AI agents that manage audio devices via natural language. So you'll be able to adjust levels, tweak effects, and optimize sound in real time, all hands-free. So for sound engineers, this is both a practical assistant and kind of a glimpse into the future. So imagine AI managing complex setups while you focus on the creativity of it, not the knobs and the faders. What's the craziest thing you'd like to see AI doing live on stage? If it's it could be doing lights, it could be doing mixing. If something starts to clip, it can fix that automatically. These are interesting use cases, and I wonder if the audiovisual guys feel that they're losing something, or if that's an awesome tool for them to get them a better sound. Do you guys feel like you're on your way out, or do you feel like you've just gotten an interesting boost to your job? So leave a comment if you're an audiovisual guy, live work, and how that's affecting you. So our final story is going to be a story of resistance. So over 30 Seattle-based musicians are pulling their music from Spotify. So obviously 30 is not a huge number, but they're making a show of it. So they're citing the platform's promotion of AI-generated content, questionable investments in AI tech elsewhere, and they're arguing that AI is devaluing artistry and even misattributing AI tracks to deceased artists. So the reality is it's admirable, but maybe fighting the platform directly isn't the right lever. I don't want to say right or wrong, possibly not the most effective in my opinion. So AI is everywhere. I think they have a point. I think what they say is true, but artists might be better off learning how to harness it or finding alternate ways to retain control and connection with fans. And if that includes taking yourself off Spotify, that's fine. Find alternate routes. I think that's the point. So if the boycott is just you going elsewhere, believing you can find some other thing, great. But if you're expecting them to change their ways, I don't know if that's necessarily going to work. But if you can find a way that doesn't include their crap, more power to you. So in closing, what's going to tie all these stories together this week? So AI is obviously everywhere, and it's not just a tool. It's becoming a collaborator, a competitor, a disruptor. It touches songwriting, performing, live production, remixing, and even legacy music. So what's the takeaway? It's a little bit neutral, but it's crucial. AI is reshaping what it means to create, perform, and own music. So for musicians, producers, engineers, creators, understanding AI and experimenting with it and deciding how you're going to engage with it is now part of being a modern artist. Hate it or love it. So whether we're resurrecting Whitney Houston, releasing purely AI-powered country hits, remixing your own songs, or battling the platforms. The future of music is going to end up being co-written with the algorithms. So whether it's in the music or the thing that's affecting your music, they're here now. And so best for us to understand it so that we know how to best collaborate or how to best fight it. But either way, we're going to stick here updating you on that stuff. So I appreciate you guys tuning in to AIX Music. Don't forget to subscribe, wherever you get your podcasts, here on YouTube. And every week we'll bring you a new update on music and the industry and where it's going and how you can keep up to date and ready to go in the ever-changing landscape. So I appreciate you guys, and I will see you next week.